Hey all, this is Stephanie from Stephanie B Creativity, and we're making the cutest little cupcake hat with a rose on top, creamy buttercream type icing, and chocolatey cupcake. I thought it was cute. I hope you do. Stick around and I'll show you how to do it. It's super simple. First up, materials. I am using a 48-pin Sentro knitting machine. You can use any of the big knitting machines, so 48-pin, 46-pin. I'm using the Heartland by Lion Brand, 100% acrylic, and this is the Sequoia color. This is going to be the chocolate cake part of it. The creamy frosting is the Red Heart brushed, and this is a super saver. So it's a cheap yarn, but oh my gosh, it's so soft and fluffy, and it just looked like frosting, this cream color. I'm going to put one of my little knit roses on the top and maybe add some little green leaves or something. I'm going to do 80 rows of the chocolate, and this is going to be my the inside of the hat and about 20 rows at the bottom, so that you've got chocolate cake and then you've got the white frosting. Standard back and forth. This is just a standard beanie. It's a 120 row beanie, so smaller head. I figure, this would be an awesome thing to toss into somebody's little gift basket. If you've got somebody who really likes cupcakes or really likes sweet things, I'm going to reset my counter. And I'm just going to go and do 80 rows of chocolate, switch to 40 rows of my vanilla, and I'll be back. When I change colors, I do it a little bit differently than I see other people doing it. So here's where it came out from, right here at my white needle. Okay, I'm taking it across two, and I'm dropping my new yarn in, and it's going to knit in. But that way my yarns are crossing, and it just keeps it tighter, less gappy. And now I'm going to watch as it goes around. There we go. I'm going to go to 120 on my counter. All right, we're at 120 rounds. I'm going to cut off a fairly decent tail. And we are going to do just a long tail pickup to cast off on this. The easiest kind of finish we can do, right? And yes, I got some tuck stitches in here, and I'm going to treat them as texture in the frosting. Sometimes it's worth it to go back and fix all of the tucks, and sometimes you just need to get the hat done. It's not going to affect how the hat wears, and actually where the tucks are might be places to add a little bit of extra interest in, stitching on some beads for like sprinkles on your frosting. So we'll see what it looks like. I have no idea yet, how this is going to look. You've already seen the finished product, because I always try to put the finished product up front. If you like this kind of video, please check out more videos on my channel. I've got lots of videos. Oh, and I do have a video on how to make the rose that we're going to be using on the top. It's knitted on a Sentro or Addi, or you can do it on a loom. You can do it on needles. I actually had somebody ask if you could do my little rose pattern on needles, and it's like, absolutely. So I tested it this morning, and the pattern works perfectly. So if you're, if you're somebody who likes to watch these videos to get ideas, but don't own a knitting machine yet, you can do that. You can make that. You can make pretty much anything you can make on a machine, you can make on your needles. This hat, the whole hat. If you were, wanting to do quick hats, you could do exactly the same thing that we do on the machine with your circular knitting needles. And then, you could do the same type of closure. You could do a cinched closure, or if you're on knitting needles, you could actually do decreases if that's something that you have the skill for. It's all just based on what the skill set is that you have. It's not what the tools are that you're using, because for heaven's sakes, we can use all the tools. You can have every tool under the sun, but if you don't use them, they're not worth anything, right? So I am all done pulling that off. I'm going to set that here. So my needle is here. I can leave it on. I'm going to open this up. Now this is inside out, so I want to make sure that I put the purl side to the inside. There we go. That little spot where I joined my yarn, I'm just going to give it a quick little loose knot. It's going to be on the inside. I don't have to do anything else with that. Now, one of the things with this kind of yarn, though, that I love, but then it's kind of disappointing, is that all of the soft fuzzy goes to the inside. You can brush the fabric with a soft hairbrush. I wouldn't use one of the, one of the ones with hard plastic bristles, but a soft brush. We're going to close that end. Since my needle is already on this one, I'm just running my needle through all of those gathered stitches at the top. Simple beanie construction, same kind of construction that you've seen being done for years and years and years on your basic beanie. There we go. We're just going to run around that a couple times. I'm not worried about pulling it down tight yet, but I am going to take my needle off of that end. We're going to find the cast on line here and pull this. The Heartland yarn is so soft, and it knits up so nicely on this knitting machine. I love it. I'm going to go ahead and run my needle around the gathered bit right here. I like to just pull it down tight, run this around through. It doesn't have to be, totally perfect. Just get it so that your yarn is, tied off on the inside of your loop, your round. And it also makes it a little bit stronger, not just one yarn strand thickness, but a couple if you go around it a few times. There we go. Round around. And now we're going to shove this end up inside that end. Oh, yay. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Now I'm taking my needle and I'm going to go up through the inside hat and come out right here. I'm going to tie off nice and snug. I'm going to run this around this one real quick. Even though it's brown and that's cream, we're going to be covering this with the little rose. Maybe I'll grab one of my roses that already has a little leaf. There we go. And now back to the center. We're going to tie it off again, just because. And then I'm going to shove that down inside. Just come out any place. Pop. And then we're going to take this end and pop it back inside. It's been tied off lots of times. So now we flip this up and you've got your chocolate cupcake. If you want to know how to make this rose, click the iCard up above in the top corner, the lesson for how to make a rose on your knitting machine, down like that. And we're going to stitch across on the inside. This rose is fully washable, just like all of the yarn in the hat. So I'm going to put this in and it's going to be permanent. If you wanted to put your rose on and have it be something that could come off, I would suggest stitching an elastic band to the bottom of the rose and then putting a button sewn to the inside. And look at that! Oh my gosh. Isn't that the cutest little cupcake hat? Soft, fluffy. You could even put it over a package and it would look like a little cake. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that totally adorable? That Heartland yarn is amazing. It runs through the machine like butter, but isn't that the cutest little cupcake hat? Thank you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. It was so much fun to do. I think that this is absolutely adorable. It actually looks like a cake. Look at that. It looks like a little cake with frosting and a pretty little rose decoration on top. If you like this, make sure to click that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video with your friends, and make sure that you do something creative, take care of yourself, and be kind. We'll see you soon. Bye. Oh, that just looks like cake. That looks like a cake. Ugh.